Hi everyone, welcome to the LDI around brand positioning. Organizations have a very clear positioning. Positioning is how organizations differentiate themselves in the customer's mind, right? So when you think of a McDonald's, something comes to your mind. When you think of a KFC, something comes to your mind, right? Can you think of any brand which is healthy? Healthy foods brand, any brand?
Nutri Choice.
Okay, Nutri Choice. Yeah. So there are different brands which stand for different things, right? Contribution is aligned to what the brand stands for. So today's LDI is all about brand positioning. So the topic for the pitches are, how would you ensure that your team understands the positioning of your organization and contributes ideas as per the positioning of your organization? Whoever wants to pitch can go ahead, raise your hand. How do you ensure that your team contributes ideas as per the positioning strategy chosen by your organization? Okay, I have 4 more seats. Whoever wants to go in. I have 3 more seats. How do you make your team contribute as per the positioning of your organization? I have 2 more seats. One more seat. Yeah, closed. So interestingly, right now in the tech team, we were having a discussion on how the DT Transcend app is supposed to look like. And there I was saying that DT is known for the employee management. So the ideas have to be in that direction, right? So I think this is going to be a very interesting topic. I hope all of us can get value from it. On that note, over to you, Harish, for your pitch.
Hi everyone. As a API manufacturing company, I would first like to explain what's brand positioning in a simple terms to my team, getting them to a same context, and then telling them our USP, API manufacturers. And I'll get them to do all the background research to their extent, and we'll sit down and cumulatively we'll figure out why we are in this position, what is the gap of market we are serving, and how better we can think about reaching more customers in this market gap. So that would be my say to my team to start off that conversation. Kind of, you can come to my room if you want to learn about this. Thank
Yeah,
you.
if you didn't understand what Harish said, you can go to his room and understand it. Thank you, Harish. Over to you, Sagnik. Yeah.
Yeah, so companies nowadays gather a lot of data, both from its internal workforce as well as from external operations. We can use this data to understand how the market is currently working and whether the internal employees are actually aligning with the brand positioning and the USP or not. How can we do that? And how SMBs and big businesses and startups are actually different in their working methodologies in this entire process that I will discuss in my room.
Okay. Thank you, Sagnik. I think off late he's been collecting some data from people in interviews. Yeah, got him thinking in that direction. Over to you, Gaurav Upadhyay.
So to understand and conclude, I use four methods: awareness, communication, rigor, and reflection, so that we work in alignment for what brand positioning. Understand brand positioning.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. As always, I think he has a 3 point or 4 point formula. Over to you, Anay.
So brand positioning is not just external branding, it's about internal branding too. How team resonates with the company. Because the real challenge lies in ensuring that every team member understands the positioning and then thinks creatively in line with it. Let's discuss some strategies to foster this alignment.
This is a beautiful point, Anay. Branding always starts with internal branding. You'd want the team to first own that position and say, we want to win this position. That's a great perspective. Hope you would have a good discussion around this. Now, over to you, Pratibha.
So I'll start with what does it mean to think, act, and communicate inside out? And second is we have seen people say these statements like, okay, I understand the details, but it just does not feel right. So what does it mean to make your audience feel right in that connection with the business? I'll discuss that in my room.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, sorry, I think I had some network issue in between. Can I go next?
Yeah. Over to you, Samiksha.
Yeah, hello. So I'd like in my room, I'd like to talk about so we to understand brand positioning completely. I'd like to talk about if our mindset is not aligned with that, how things will go wrong. So that we understand that to make sure that things don't go in that way, how we need to align ourselves with our company's brand position, understand the importance of brand positioning.
Okay. Thank you, Samiksha. Over to you, Vinay.
I want to discuss about something like our company has some core principles, like if a restaurant has the principle for their taste only. And if you are trying to start a new something new in place of this, how can we start it? And we will discuss it with the some reasonings that if a company is established, how can you start the company front of them with like another positioning, or we can tackle same thing.
Thank you, Vinay. Over to you, Manu.
Yeah, what makes a brand stand out in crowded markets? How to make brand memorable? That's my pitch.
Thank you, Manu. Over to you, Sandeep.
Okay, so in my room, I would be talking about how a brand which has a unique point. So it is like the words that we use in, positioning our brand. They possess a very important aspect as they contain some emotions. They are, build on some emotions. They are targeting some emotions. So this is what I will be talking about.
Thank you, Sandeep. Over to you, Dia.
So understanding the brand, like positioning of the company is not enough. You also need to understand the why behind it. And also, if you can encourage the team members to actually not only think about the present, but also the past ventures that your organization had taken place, and think about whether they really all the different ventures were around the same core principle, or the core principles also change, and maybe have the team members really thread build and rigor build around it. Then the understanding and alignment of brand positioning can happen, in my opinion.
Beautiful, beautiful thought that vegetable oils. And one of my mentors, the MD of Central Bookshop, his grandfather started that shop in 1947. So for all his new employee orientation, he starts with how his grandfather used to run the business, then how his father used to run the business, and then how he's running the business. He'll tell that entire history, and from that he starts aligning them to his management style. So I think what you're saying is very spot on. A person has been using this approach for the last 10 years, at least. Yeah. What do you, Rizwan?
Yeah. In my room, I will be talking about how educational tech companies will position their brands and how they attract the people by it, and not only how, but also why. Also, I will be telling how why the students will be more attracted to their brand positioning. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Rizwan. What do you, Shravan?
In my room, I will be discussing how we can use Socratic dialogue to clearly understand about the brand positioning about while doing any actions in our team.
Yeah. Thank you, Shravan. Over to you, Raghuveer.
So it's kind of a coincidence as Shravan has the same pitch. So yeah, I would like to implement the practice of Socratic dialogue in order to better understand our positioning, our brand positioning, and to further drive out the ideas from the team in order to further identify the key performance metrics, in order to also further effectively track all the deliverables as well. So yeah.
Thank you, Raghuveer. Over to you, Paridhi.
So, if we want our team members to be able to contribute to decision making in a way that aligns with brand positioning, then that understanding of brand positioning needs to be inculcated from the first stage itself. So, right from the recruitment process, more than focusing on their understanding of their individual job roles, I would want to focus on their understanding of the organization, what the organization does, why it does it, what differentiates it from other competitors who might be doing similar things. Because if that understanding is there, then eventually ability to contribute to decision making and ability to perform individual job roles can be inculcated.
Thank you, Paridhi. Now I'd like to go in with my pitch as well. To be number one, you have to think like number one. This was one of the positioning strategies of one large brand, which took on another large brand, Pepsi, which took on Coke. Coke was outselling Pepsi 1:7. For every one bottle of Pepsi, 7 bottles of Coke were being sold or something like that, 1:7 to 1:9. So how did Pepsi compete and almost come equal? How did they execute this, positioning, the new positioning that they had? John Scully was the hero. He eventually came into Apple and kicked Steve Jobs out, John Scully. So if you want to know the story and understand the sentence of what does it mean when I say that to be number one, you have to think like number one. If you want to understand the story, you can come to my room. So yeah, we can stop the recording now.